Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Today we are going to talk about Itikaf, Seclusion. Itikaf is an Islamic practice consisting of the period of staying in a mosque for a certain number of days, devoting oneself of ibadah during these days and staying away from the worldly affairs. The literal meaning of the word itikaf means sticking and adhering to or being regular in something, including performing voluntary prayers, recite and learning Qur'an and authentic hadith. Many Muslims choose to spend the last 10 days of Ramadan in seclusion, where one solely focuses on worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and refrains from involvement in worldly affairs. It is a time to reflect, increase worship, and to increase one's religious knowledge, seeking closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For men, Itikaf, this means residing in the mosque for the last 10 days, in which the sole objective is to engage in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in solitude, free from the confines, constraints, and demands of the material world. For women, Itikaf, this means residing in the predetermined place within the confines of their house. The sunnah is to remain in Itikaf for 10 days, but as a minimum it can be 1 day or 1 night. One of the hadith is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari in Book of Itikaf, hadith number 11718. It narrates to Abdullah ibn Umar. Prophet Muhammad used to practice Itikaf in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Another hadith it is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1172. It's narrated by Aisha, may Allah please with her. The Prophet used to practice Itikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan, and then his wives used to practice Itikaf after him. Another hadith is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1175. It is reported by Aisha, may Allah please with her. She said that Allah's Messenger used to exert himself in devotions during last 10 nights to a greater extent than at any other time. One of the hadiths is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 2018. It narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khadri. He said, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to practice Itikaf in the middle third of Ramadan. And after passing the 20th night, he used to go back to his house on the 21st. And the people who were in Itikaf with him also used to go back to their houses. Prophet Muhammad said, I have verily been shown the dates of the night, but I have forgotten it. So search for it in the odd nights. I also saw myself prostrating in mud and water. On the night of the 21st, the sky was covered with the clouds and it rained, and the rain water started leaking through the roof of the mosque at the praying place of the Prophet. Sayyid al-Khadri said, I saw with my eyes the Prophet at the completion of the morning prayers, leaving with his face covered with mud and water. The last 10 days of Ramadan are an opportunity to gain multiple rewards by giving charity, recite and understand the Qur'an, and offer voluntary prayers. The rewards of doing good deeds in Ramadan are multiplied by 70 times. Regarding reciting and understanding the Qur'an, it is mentioned in Musnad Ahmad, hadith number 6626. It is narrated by Abdullah bin Amr. He said, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the fast and the Qur'an are true intercession for the servant of Allah. On the day of resurrection, the fast will say, O Lord, I prevented him from his food and desires during the day. Let me intercede for him. The Qur'an will say, I prevented him for sleeping at night. Let me intercede for him, and their intercession will be accepted. Regarding the night and voluntary prayers, it is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1901, and Sahih Muslim, hadith number 760. Regarding charity and forgiving others, Ramadan is month of generosity and giving, both of which come in many forms. Forgiving your brother and sister and humbling yourself to extend the olive branch of reconciliation is as much as an act of generosity as giving to charity. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, it is mentioned in Sahih al-Muslim, hadith number 2588. He said that charity doesn't decrease wealth, no one forgiving another except that Allah increases his honor, and no one humbles himself for the sake of Allah except that Allah raises his status. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O Allah, save the humanity from being its own enemy. Protect your creation from the oppression and violence, from internal and external oppressor, and mercy on them as you are true protector. Ameen.